Let's see, the issue of electric cars in Mexico is burning. We are seeing record figures, new models with the Made in Mexico seal, and a future that really seems to be going at full speed. But is the road completely clear? Let's analyze together the accelerations and also the brakes of this revolution. To begin, look at this data, 289%. Be careful what is said soon. That was the incredible increase in sales of electric and plug-in hybrids during the first quarter of last year. It's a figure that, come on, screams boom everywhere. However, and here comes the interesting thing, as in every great story of innovation, these spectacular numbers do not always tell the whole truth. Behind this brutal acceleration, there are some important bumps in the road. Come on, first let's understand where so much optimism comes from. Let's go fully into the figures that draw a market that until recently seemed to have no limits. What we are seeing on the graph is simply explosive growth. In just 1 year, sales per quarter have quadrupled, going from about 5,000 units to over 20,000. And why? Well, mainly because now there is a lot more variety of models and, above all, increasingly accessible prices. This is opening the door to many more people. And the most exciting thing of all is that a very important part of this revolution has a Mexican seal. They are doing national projects with the most interesting proposals. For example, from Sonora we get the Beyond MC, and this is not just a car, it is an entire project to boost the local economy. It is designed for large families and to be able to make long trips. A very futuristic design that seeks to solve very real needs. Then in Puebla we see Zacua que lleva since 2017 manufacturing electric cars in an artisanal way, made by hand. It is proof that in Mexico there is plenty of talent and capacity to create cutting-edge technology with a unique and personal touch. And then there is Olinea, a project promoted by the government that wants to be the super economical electric option to move around the city. Its name, by the way, comes from Nahuatl Movers, and its objective is exactly that electric mobility is to reach everyone. Let's see, this table summarizes everything quite well. You can see the diversity of the national proposal, right? Each project goes for a different niche. Beyond DMC for families and travel, Zacua with an artisanal and exclusive product, and both Linea and the Tlaxcala project focus on very economical solutions for the city. This variety is a very clear sign that there is an innovative ecosystem that is in full swing. But hey, so far everything seems great. It's time to hit the brakes. Because despite all this optimism, a few very real obstacles have appeared that are complicating things quite a bit. And this is where we find the first great contradiction. Do you remember the 289% growth figure that included hybrids? Well, if we look at just the cars, which are 100 but under 100 electric, the story changes completely. Their annual sales fell 14% in the last year. They went from more than 24,000 to less than 21,000 units. And that, of course, is an important warning sign. And this drop in sales reflects a change in people's mindset. Interest in buying an electric or hybrid vehicle has dropped from 32% to just 23%, and at the same time, the intention to buy a gasoline car of all life has risen from 46% to 60%. The balance clearly is tipping the other way. So why do these doubts arise? Well, a study by the EY firm summarizes it in 3 key points. The lack of chargers, high initial prices, trust in technology, and acceptance of new brands entering the market are a mix of hurdles. The issue of infrastructure is crucial. More than half of people who already have an electric car say there is a lack of chargers on major roads. This makes long trips a planning odyssey and generates what is known as rank anxiety, that fear of being left stranded without a battery. Okay, now let's broaden the focus a little. How does this whole situation in Mexico fit into the world race for the electric car? This graph is devastating. There is no other word. China is not leading, it is that it completely dominates the world market. It takes almost 2/3 of all electric vehicle sales. If we compare it, Europe and the United States are far behind. And an example of this dominance is the Chinese giant BYD. It sold more than 2.2 million electric vehicles, surpassing Tesla and becoming the largest manufacturer in the world. The center of gravity of the entire industry has clearly moved towards Asia. The thing is that, even in the United States, which is Mexico's main trading partner, the market is cooling. They have removed tax aid, public interest has dropped, and regulations are changing. All this is causing manufacturers like Ford to reduce their production of electric models. And of course, that inevitably ends up affecting production in Mexico. Very well, with this panorama of accelerations on the one hand and brakes on the other, the question is what path remains for Mexico in this electrical transition? Look, this quote from Carlos Segarra from EY sums it up perfectly. The market is not going to go backwards. The number of electric cars is going to continue to grow. What happens is that the pace of that growth is no longer going to be as beast as it was thought. The euphoria of the beginning has given way to a more cautious realism. In short, Mexico is right now at a crossroads. On the one hand, it has national innovation and enormous market potential enough to step on the accelerator, but on the other it faces the brakes of infrastructure, cost and distrust of people. Which pedal will ultimately decide the speed of your electric future?